Greetings to you today. Welcome to our daily Devo for Tuesday, the 14th of May today. And our Devo for the day is pretty appropriate for many of us, I think. The subject is about grumbling. About grumbling. It is from my favorite, A Christmas Carol. A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you, cried a cheerful voice. It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew, who came upon him so quickly that this was the first intimation he had of his approach. And we all know Scrooge's response: bah, humbug. He had so heated himself with rapid walking in the fog and frost, this nephew of Scrooge's, that he was all in a glow. Christmas a humbug, Uncle? Said Scrooge's nephew. You don't mean that, I'm sure. I do, said Scrooge. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough. Come then, returned the nephew gaily. What might have you to be dismal? What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough. Scrooge, having no better answer ready on the spur of the moment, said, bah, again, and followed it up with humbug. Don't be cross, Uncle, said the nephew. What else can I be, returned the uncle, when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer, a time for balancing your books and having every item in them through a round dozen of months presented dead against you. If I could work my will, said Scrooge indignantly, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Oh, what the transformation we know is going to be coming. But grumbling seems to be a human thing from the beginning of time till this very day. So many grumble. Every negative thing they hear, and unfortunately sometimes believe when they shouldn't. They just grumble, complain. They want to vote the president out because evidently he's like God and can answer every problem that there is. It's a fallen, sinful condition that we have, and it's hard to relearn. We talked about that on Sunday, having to relearn some of the things we've gotten used to in our lives and grown up with and inherited from others. And yeah, it certainly is difficult to get away from it, and especially to get away from others who are like that. Here's a devotion for the day. Ebenezer Scrooge, Dickens' most well-known character, personifies the very definition of grumpiness. He is crabby, cranky, cross, crotchety, irritable, irascible, petulant, prickly, short-tempered, snappish, snarky, snippety, stuffy, and testy too. His bad attitude separates him not only from people, but also from God. When the Israelites wandered across the wilderness searching for the promised land, they felt grumpy, and they grumbled to their leader, Moses. If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death. That's in Exodus 16:3. Moses answered them, Who are you? Who are we? You're not grumbling against us, but against the Lord. In the New Testament, Jesus told his disciples, stop grumbling among yourselves, John 6:43. And in Philippians 2:14 and 15, Paul says, do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure children of God, without fault in a crooked and depraved generation. Paul doesn't paint a rosy color there, does he? But he does challenge us to not focus on that. Complaining focuses on our dislikes instead of our blessings. Grumbling, as Moses said, is in truth grumbling against God. If we will but turn our complaining hearts into thankful hearts, then we will discover just how blessed we are. This is a powerful devotion today, I think. It's easy to grumble. It's easy to grumble. I'll be honest with you. I'll confess it. When things become inconvenient, when I had one plan and something else comes up that I can't say no to, I complain, if not audibly, at least in my heart and mind. This is what I wanted to do today, kind of a spoiled brat kind of thing. Grumbling about everything. Oh no, my fast food meal costs 75 cents more than it used to, or even $2 more than it used to. Well, don't go then. That solves that problem. When we choose to, this is a reality. When we choose to complain about what we do have and what we don't have, or what's not the way we wish it was, who ultimately are we complaining against? We're complaining against God himself. We're complaining against our Heavenly Father that he doesn't make us happy. We don't see it like that, but that's the reality of it. Being a grumbler is something that makes other people not want to be around you. It's something that puts people off from you and from what you claim you represent. If you claim you're a Christian and then complain all the time about other people and about problems you have, they're going to have a hard time believing your testimony and your witness. This Christmas carol goes in the opposite direction. Starts with a grumpy, broken, selfish, stingy old man who eventually, with the help of the 3 visiting angels, comes to faith, really. It's not the way it's put. But by the time the movie is over, he's doing all the good he possibly can to all the people he possibly can, and I'm pretty sure that's what we as Christians are supposed to do. Blessings to you today on this Tuesday.